Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel for another episode from the Seraphon, Tales of the Seraphon. Ooh, that sounds good. So anyways, I just thought I'd do a little bit to introduce myself, and really the topic I wanted to talk about today has to do with why I play Age of Sigmar. So I've been in hobbying and gaming tabletop board games for 8 to 10 years or so. Really, I got into the tabletop side of things when I started playing 40K, and then I just kind of fell into Age of Sigmar. Ironically, I didn't start playing that until about the year after, just as soon as we had got the General's Handbook #1, and really just fell in love with the game. And I think the 4 main reasons that I really fell in love with it, and especially because I used to play 40K, why do I not play as much 40K? Why do I like Age of Sigmar better? Why is that the game that, really you want to talk about? And I think it has 4 main reasons. First, I think it has to be one of the easiest entry games that I've learned on the basis of really the rules. Now, I'm not saying there are things in Age of Sigmar that are inherently complicated. Like, right now I can just think of, like, the Dark Elves ones. They've got a couple of rules with the Blood Cauldron that says, like, the all and the special rules, and there's grammar involved with that. I'm not going to go into that part of it, and there are complicated things in this game. But I gotta say that I think that really the rules for Age of Sigmar are so much easier and quick to learn, but hard to master. And that's the kind of game that I'm really interested in, because I'm a kind of person that's an inviter. I'm always looking for people to play with. I introduced my brother to the game, to 40K and Age of Sigmar, and we've really fallen in love with it. And it was so easy. I remember the first time playing it with him. We picked it up. There wasn't any complicated, like, steps to anything. And I literally, because we had played 40K in the past, we literally looked at each other, and several times in the game we're like, and that's all there is? Man, there's so much I can do, and I don't feel like constrained or like I broke some kind of rule. Because in 40K, at least in like the editions we played in, 5th and 6th and 7th edition, you had like, you did this, but sometimes that was an exception. You could do this or this. Or you had to remember your magic phase, and it just was so easy to remember all of the phases in the game, and so easy to do everything. The only thing I think we ever have trouble with is I forget all the time to do artifacts, and really that's just because we didn't start playing with artifacts because it wasn't necessary at the beginning. Competitively it is, but for us, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think the second reason for that is the level of brokenness. One of the reasons I left 40K was in 7th edition. It was just rife with so many things that I don't think that 40K was meant to be about. And I love 40K, don't get me wrong. I still have my stuff from it. I still have my Black Templar. And I love playing it occasionally. But it was just so rife with errors, and GW wasn't there to support it at the time. I feel like they're doing a way better job with the new edition, and that's why I keep playing it and I keep owning stuff. I love this stuff. But I just feel like that's a little different. And what I mean is, while there is brokenness in Age of Sigmar, I feel like there is a level to the floor of brokenness. Almost everybody has something that's pretty broken in their army. Or everyone could, claim that it's broken. Like, wow, the power level of that thing is off the charts. Or there's so many combos with that. And that's what I like. I don't mind it being broken. I just want to be able to feel like everybody has something that's just their real heavy hitter, their Babe Ruth in the roster, as it will. And it's not the same on each army, but I don't think you can compare apples to oranges. Like the Wanderers are going to be completely different with their brokenness, their heavy hitting, to like the Seraphon, to like Stormcast Eternal, or even to Chaos. They're all a little bit different, and when those broken things that are just clearly something that nobody can deal with, or they just make the game unfun, GW has really put in the time to try to mitigate those. Now, I'm not going to say that they do it every single time, and there isn't like 3 months in between them fixing it, but I just feel better about it. And maybe that's, not feeling it, that's the biggest part of why I like it. I think the third reason is the barriers to entry are so low with Age of Sigmar. And what I mean for that is not the barrier of entry that, like the ease of entry where the rules are easy to learn, but the barrier as in you are able to get an army and play it at almost any level and feel like you're having a strong army, a competitive army, a really just something that's cohesive. Occasionally on other games, if you play too low of points, you can really see why some armies shine. I remember playing 6th or 7th edition 40k, and I had played Necrons, and my brother was playing like maybe Eldar or Space Marines, and at 500 points, it wasn't really fun because the Necrons could just literally just destroy everything because they could take immortals and blah 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 blah. So, but I feel like at any level of the game, and there's still, I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions, but I never felt like the game was not any fun at the lower levels. And so when we got our first learn to play box, like you got your army, I got my Seraphon box, and he got his he got a couple units of free people. I never feel like one of us was, you know, down any. In fact, many of our games came down to the dice roll, and really that's what this game's all about, right? And so it's pretty fun. I have to say, I'm really glad for it. And I think the fourth and the biggest point for, you know, why I really like Age of Sigmar is it's the age of heroes. And what I mean by that, and it kind of goes into the brokenness part of it, is that I feel like when they ramped up power levels, they ramped up power levels for a lot of things. And sure, you could make the point like, oh yeah, arguably for their points, it's not worth it. But it really is. I mean, everything I have, I feel like is just could slam somebody. Maybe they don't match up against every single unit in the game, but I never felt like, even with, like, my brother plays, you know, free people, even with his free people guard unit, he never felt like they were underpowered. I mean, they can get some crazy cool, like, buffs from their general, and they're just humans. And so that makes you, the fact that you can play superheroes makes you feel so good. I mean, when I drop my lizards on the table and I'm lining up my Saurus Knights, I feel like I've just got these raptors lined up for battle. And I think that's really what captures my my side of the game. And that's why I got into 40k in the first place. Like, nothing is cooler than a Terminator. You know, look at that guy. Like, he looks sick. He looks like he's going to shoot the faces off of, like, millions of monsters and stuff. And he's, like, huge encased shell like a Terminator should be. But he never really acted like a Terminator. It was always just shooting. Like, he could get blinked off by a Termagant shooting a poison spitter. And, yeah, maybe that could happen, but that's not very epic. But in this game, just swaths of things are dying. I'm rolling, like, 20 dice, 30 dice for all these attacks. And that's the epic level that I think Age of Sigmar has. And I really enjoy that. I love how the lizards can do that. I mean, the new rule that the lizards can just, like, teleport anywhere in the battle because we're made of stars, star power or whatever, that's freaking awesome. Think about, like, I just like to think how my lizards just appear behind him. I have several Saurus Knights, you know, mounting an attack, and then they just appear behind him. Kroxigor in front, and they got a real hard decision to make. And while maybe they're not the best units in the game, sure, that's fine. I'm still rolling a sweet ton of dice, and I got sweet buffs to put on them, and that's the epic level, like I said, that I really like. So I think those are the real reasons that I really appreciate Age of Sigmar. Let me know what you guys think, and tell me why you guys like to play it. I mean, that's the epic level, and that's why I really enjoy my Lizardmen. I really feel like they are just really cool, and I love to play the hero side of it. Nothing's better than being cold-blooded, am I right?